Designing and modeling a detached garage in Revit should be pretty straightforward, but it does come with a few quirks. Today we're going to build a detached garage in Revit from the ground up. We're going to include foundation walls, floors, above grade walls, roofs, windows, and doors, and I'm going to be sharing my tips and tricks along the way to make the process much cleaner. Come on, let's get in. So here we are in the interface. I'm going to be working at an 1/8 of an inch scale today. And let's start with some above grade walls, and why don't we do a full brick garage wall. So I'm going to start there, and usually what I'll do is I'll just make sure my justification's right so the brick is on the exterior wall. Let's go back 24 feet. Let's come across another 24 feet. Come down, that'll line up there, and there. We're going to make this a simple structure today. We can, of course, maybe jog in a door. Maybe let's do that. Let's step in one of the sides of the garage so we've got a little bit of fun when we get around to the roof and things like that. So let's put a dimension on there and see what we're working with here. Let's make these both 12. So we can snap a dimension there. If I pick that wall, I can just click on that dimension and change it to whatever I want it to be. So that is going to be an even 12 and 12. So let's get some dimensions on here and see how it's going. What I do is I have some components that are vehicles of different sizes. So let's get a big pickup truck, a Ford F-150, and just say, how is that going to fit? We can drop that in there. And this might be a little tight if you're driving big pickup trucks like that. So why don't we move this wall back? Let's change that from 24 to 26 feet, and that way it gives us a little more room there, and maybe we can copy that over at 12 feet. There we go. That's not too bad. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring that over another 2 feet, and I will move this over 1 foot, and there we go. I think that's going to give us a little more breathing room around the garage, if you're even parking in your garage. I don't know. I get to, every time I do garage content, it's like, who even parks in their garage? So here we have our walls, and I'm going to gray out these vehicles by selecting them, going to right-clicking, override graphics and view by element, and I'm going to just click on halftone there, just so they're a little less distracting. Great, so now we have our walls. And I usually start above grade to get the dimensions of the garage correct first, and then I'll work below grade. I'll put a foundation under it, and then obviously putting a roof on top. But to make sure we can get in the garage, let's go into the door command here and do some overhead doors. So let's go with a 9-foot by 8-foot door. I'm going to put one there, and then we're going to put one there. And I just want to make sure that these are going to be centered with the elevation. So if I select this dimension, type EW, that's for edit witness line, I can snap to the center of that door, and you can see it's not quite centered. So I'm going to pick the dimension. There it is. It's hiding over here. Hit. Oh, nope, definitely don't want to do that. There it is. We'll center the door there. Cool, so now we've got our garage, got a couple of doors. Let's align those vehicles with those doors by typing AL. We click the center of the door, then the center of the object. That'll center there. Cool and cool. All right, so we're off to a good start here. And just for fun, I know some customers, some homeowners are really 50-50 on whether or not they want windows in their garage or don't want windows in their garage. So let's, just for the sake of demonstration today, let's put a couple of windows the back here. That window will be 4 feet by 4 feet, and let's center it with that door. And then why don't we put another overhead garage door at the back of this long bay here? Maybe it gives you the opportunity to pull all the way through, or just have additional access points to your garage. So what I would do is I would take this garage and I would use the mirror command, and I would select the middle of that wall and just flip it over. And that keeps those directly in line with each other. And just for demonstration purposes, let's put an exterior door, just kind of like a passage door somewhere up there. I don't know. Might not even have this other vehicle here if you're treating this as a workshop or something like that. So here we go. So we've got our brick walls. We've got a 2-foot jog in the front elevation here, 26 feet deep, 26 feet wide. It's 24 feet at the jog there. We've got a window at the back. So let's take a look in 3D here, guys. And you can see what's coming along now, right? It's kind of how we would expect that to happen. Let's keep moving forward here. I've got my shadows on here, and you can see once we adjust things, and this kind of makes sense here, the bottom of the garage door obviously has to be flush with the driveway so that you can smoothly drive your vehicle into the garage. So let's just put a floor slab there at grade level, and you can see that the doors are sitting there in great, but these brick walls are hovering above, and that's because we need that foundation wall to come up above grade and support those walls. So let's jump into our basement plan and take care of that. So when I jump into my basement plan, I'll come over to the underlay option here, and I'll just put the first floor as my underlay. So what that's doing, it's showing me where the first floor walls are while I'm working in the foundation plan, but I can't edit these. This is just a visual representation of what's above. So if I come over to wall, and let's get a foundation wall here, I think an 8-inch poured concrete foundation will do. So there's a few ways you can put your walls underneath. Me, I'm kind of a little bit old school in this because the brick wall above, you're going to want that to overhang your foundation by about a ½ inch or so. So I like to draw those in, and then while we're drawing, we can do an offset here. So I'm just going to treat that as a 0.5 inch, ½ inch offset. See, it's going to the outside of the walls there, so I want to put a negative in front of it so that it comes to the inside of the wall. And I'm just going to come around and draw those walls underneath those upper walls. Pretty straightforward. Let's check that out. Let's hide this now. All right, those walls are probably deeper than we need them to be, but let's leave them for now so we can keep moving forward. Now, here's something that's interesting is that overhead garage door is embedded within that wall here. So I got a really cool trick that I'm going to show you to deal with that. But first, we're going to put some footings underneath those walls. So I'm going to go into structural foundation wall, and there's a footing button right there. And I'm just going to hover over one of the foundation walls. I'm going to hit tab. It's going to select them all, and it's going to drop my footings right underneath them. It's the easiest way, super uncomplicated. Now for these, there's a few ways that you can get these, adjust the profile of this wall to show that it's down at grade level. Now the one way that I like to do it, and I think it's kind of the easiest way, is just by joining the two walls. Pretty cool. Let me show you again. So in this other door, so what most people might do is double click on the wall and edit the profile of it to notch out the foundation wall. But when you have an opening in one wall and you've got two walls connected to each other, you can just come up to under modify, go to join, and then you select one wall and then the other wall, and it automatically extends that opening between both walls. So that's a really easy way of doing that. And here, let's do it again one more time under the modify tab, join. We're going to select the brick wall, foundation wall, and it notches it out there. How easy is that? And that works in plan as well. So if you had two walls sort of sandwiched together and you needed an opening to penetrate both of those, that works the same way as well. So keep that in mind when you're trying to cut openings through walls. Let's jump back in the main floor plan here. Actually, we're going to stick with the foundation plan here, and we're going to put in a floor slab. So let's go under architecture, floor. We're going to do a concrete slab. Let's do a 6-inch thick concrete slab. Very cool. And then we can, again, there's a few ways you can do this. You can select the walls or you can just draw the walls. And I don't know, I just like the control of drawing walls. Maybe it's therapeutic. Maybe it feels like I'm drawing more. I don't know, whatever it is. But it also lets me know that it's going exactly where I want it to go. This is just me, guys. This is totally just me. And we're going to move that up to grade level as well because the bottom of the garage doors are at grade, the driveway's at grade, and we want that to garage floor to start at grade. Obviously, we're probably going to slope that up in another tutorial. So I'm going to click on that. Those highlighted floors overlap, but I'm going to come in here and you can see we now have a garage floor. Pretty cool. Pretty straightforward. And you can see how quick we can really start to build out a 3-car or a 2-car garage. Now let's go. Let's get a roof on here, guys. Come to the main floor plan here. And if we click on architecture, go to roof, and let's just do a really basic 2x6 asphalt shingle roof. That should be nice and straightforward. Let's put that on the underside of first ceiling. And then I know as much as I said I like to draw my lines when I do things, for a roof I definitely just like to click. So let's do a 2-foot overhang, sure. We've got the pick walls command selected. Fascia depth is going to be 6 inches. I'm fine with these for now. So all we got to do is, and the slope is something that we'll be able to define as well. So if I come over here, you can see I'm hovering, and then it gives me this dashed line to the left. That's where the roof overhang is going to go. So sometimes if you go in this way, it's going to make the roof too small. It's not going to cover your project. So keep the cursor to the outside, and we're going to go there and there. And it should clean up all of them, but you can see here we've got a little cleanup that we have left to do. So no problem, we can trim that. Now, again, the same way we put the footings on under the foundation walls, we can do that with the roof. So if I hover over here and just hit tab, look at that, nice and clean, and it puts them all the way around for me. So let's commit to that and see how it looks. So you can see here, it's a little too squat. Now that is a roof, but it's overlapping the doors, and it is maybe a little too powerful, a little too heavy for this garage. So let's jump in here. Let's change the pitch of the roof. All we got to do is select the roof. Right now it's set to a 912. Let's go like a 5. That's going to drop it down a little bit there. So if we prop that up here, that's going to give us a slightly better look. We still might not have enough room above those doors for some structure. So why don't we select those doors? I had those as 8 feet tall. Why don't we just select those and make those 9x7 doors? Just to give ourselves a little bit of room here. But another option is that we could just extend the height of the wall. So whatever your garage design is going to be, it's going to be. So I think I want a little more roof than that too. Let's go 6. There we go. So now it's looking like a garage. All right, so a couple last things that I want to do just to make sure it's exactly the way we want it to be. Let's put some gutters around this roof, and I've got architecture roof. There is a roof gutter feature here, and I've created, it comes with a gutter, but it's got a lot of profile to it. So when I find when you print it in elevation, there's a lot of lines and it's more ink on the page than I think we need. So I've created a simple gutter, which is just a simple profile. So to apply that gutter, we go to architecture, roof, do the pull down under roof, click on roof gutter down at the bottom there. And you can see as I'm hovering over the edge of the roof where the roof meets the fascia, it's highlighting that line. So if I click that line, it's going to put a gutter there. So if I click that one, there's a gutter. If I click that one, it's going to connect the gutters. And we can go all the way around clicking one by one, or I know you guys are thinking it already because I've done it for a few things. If I select that and delete it and go back to roof gutter, I can just hover over one, hit tab, and it puts them all on together like that. Now, if I show you this in section, it's a solid. It doesn't have a void cut out of it or anything, because for elevations, I just wanted a simple representation of what a trough or a gutter could be. So you can see there, it's just nice and clean on a sort of smaller scale. It reads fine. And then when we get into details, I would draw my own profile to it at that time. So that's my way of keeping the elevations clean while still not having to compromise the design of that. So back to 3D view, that's what we've got, guys. Why don't let's put our driveway in here. So my driveway is treated as exterior floors. So I'm going to close that out. We're going to come in here, edit that profile, and then let's move that there. Let's draw a couple more lines in here to make sure we pick that up, that door at the back, so we can walk to the back door there. I don't know what property this is going on, so we're just going to keep a long sort of ambiguous driveway leading to the front. Let's commit to that. Cool. And then let's do another floor. Normally you would do topography, but if my site's really flat, I don't bother messing around. And where I live, we don't have a lot of hills. It's very flat here. So a lot of times I won't bother with the topography tool if I know that a simple flat exterior floor will work. So there. Oh, that's obviously not the right height. We're going to switch that down to grade. There we go. That lines up great. Let's drop a 3D view in there and take a look around. So if I'm going to click there, get my camera and do that. Let's apply a view template of my hidden view template. There we go, guys. All right. So let's take a look around. You can see how we shaped up that garage. Get some nice shadows there. We can turn on our line weights there. And so that's how we would build a 2-car garage. Again, we have so many other options that we can do with the design of it, right? So if we wanted a gable roof above this part that projects forward, this little triangle here represents that it is a sloped surface. So all we got to do is select that. Up here it says define slope. We're just going to undefine the slope. And if we click that check mark, you can see that that is going to give us a gable roof now. And if we want to fill that in, we just got to select that wall and say attach. We're going to attach that, the top of that, to the roof. And there we go. That gives us our gable roof as well. So there are fundamentals on how you can design yourself a detached garage in Revit using some of the basic tools that Revit offers. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got something from watching this video, whether it was a tip and trick or how to properly approach the design of a detached garage in Revit. If you have any questions, leave me a note in the comments. Subscribe so that we can keep making these videos together. I love sharing my Revit knowledge with you guys and making something that can seem a little bit intimidating a lot easier to use. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.